As I sit down to share these relatable tales from the internet's collective conscience, I'm reminded that sometimes all it takes is a little bit of shared vulnerability to connect with others. Tonight, we'll be diving into some of the most heartwarming and heartbreaking stories from the subreddit where people come together to offer advice on navigating life's most intimate relationship. 31 male and 31 female wife gave another guy number while on vacation. We've been together for 10 years and have 4 kids together. Last week, she left on a trip to Florida with her sister, called me, and checked in every night. On the last night out, she never called or checked in. I assumed everything was fine, picked her up from airport next day, and went on our way back to family life. 3 days back, and I come home from running errands, and hear her on phone with friend. Her friend asks if I'm home, and then she puts the phone off speaker and walks outside. Something felt off. I went on her laptop and rummaged through search history, which had nothing, eventually looking in the trash and finding a deleted phone log. I asked her when she came back inside if anything had happened in Florida. She said no. I pried deeper, but got nowhere. I then brought up the phone log and she tried to lie about it, but after more prying, eventually came forth with the truth. She had gave her number to a man she met on her last night there. She says they flirted all night, and then it came to a point where she wanted to go to bed. She said she denied him going with her, but gave him her number. She denies they touched, or were close, just flirting from a distance. She admitted texting him the next morning after first saying a small remark, then admitting it was a whole paragraph. She deleted everything, including conversations with her sister. 3 days later, she downloaded the phone log after our Super Bowl party while going to bed. More lies about what that was for, then confessed it was because she wanted to know if he had reached back out. I'm shooken up over this, and feel like this could be the end for us. I feel like this may be a sugar-coated version due to all the lies and half-lies during all this. Trust is so far gone. I feel hurt, angry, and backstabbed. Seen some signs before of her being open to flirting with other men, and I've talked to her about how I don't like it and to not entertain other men flirting, but she takes that as me attacking her or being insecure. I lost respect for her and see where her heart is at. Is this at a point for divorce? And now for the next story. My 38 male wife's 36 male. Road rage is endangering our family, and I'm not sure what to do. My wife has struggled with road rage for a long time, but it has gotten really bad lately. She has been in 4 accidents in the last 3 months, and she came home today from picking up both our boys having nearly gotten to another one. According to my 15-year-old, she felt this person had cut her off, even though they hadn't. So she proceeded to accelerate hard and get in front to brake check them. And then this other person decided to return the favor. Back and forth several times, narrowly missing one another, and almost hitting other random vehicle. It scares the hell out of me to think what the kids are emotionally going through when this is happening, and scares me even more to think what could happen if there is a crash, or worse, somebody pulls a gun on them. I am looking for suggestions on how to handle this situation. There seems to be no end in sight to her dangerous driving. Whenever I try to talk to her about it, she takes zero accountability and just blames everyone else who's driving. She straight up lies about what actually happened and gets extremely defensive about me not being on her side. I just want her and my kids to be safe on the road. Anybody reading this have any ideas? Now let's check out some of the comments on this post. I would never let my kids get in the car with her again. I'll tell you that. If I had a spouse like this, I'd have to move out. There is no way. This behavior only happens in a car, this kind of anger, recklessness, and disregard for others, and your children's lives must show up some other way. And if therapy, which would be a must for me, doesn't work, then divorce and you obviously get custody. Honestly, this is borderline abuse. You don't have to do it intentionally for it to be abuse. But to purposely put your children over and over in physical harm's way, and the mental emotional toll, not knowing if you're going to the ER or in your bed, is not acceptable. This woman needs to grow up and act like a mother for God's sake, and meant to protect her kids and not be the reason they end up dead. She is supposed to be a role model, and I assume Op doesn't want to model child endangerment. Yep. Get a dash cam. Show her what she is doing. Maybe if she sees it after she's calmed down and not seeing red anymore, she might realize what a big problem this is. I agree. She would never drive again, period. And now for the next story. I'm M37, lost. My wife, F37, is now a gay witch. I feel awful sharing, but I'm running out of ideas. My wife and I have been married for almost 15 years, and I feel like I'm in an impossible spot. We've changed so much. Pre-kids it is as you would imagine. Just growing up together and figuring out life. Truly we were each other's person and best friend. We both came out of religiously traumatic experiences and vowed to keep growing and working through it. Growing as individuals has always been a common goal, and we champion that for each other. However, I'm uncomfortable with where things are going. For context, she became very depressed after our second child was born, over 7 years ago. She didn't realize she didn't want to be a mom and got crippling depression. She was in bed for days and couldn't take care of our kids or work. I worked hard to get her the care she needed through therapy and psychiatrist, as well as take on full parental responsibilities. And I was fine with that. I didn't resent her. I just wanted her to get better. After a few years, she started to come back and participate in the family, and I was thrilled as I started to recognize the person I had married was back. A big part of the depression was also triggered by her religious trauma. She was a part of a cult-like upbringing where she didn't have autonomy of herself until we got married. I have always championed her in finding herself. So here is where it starts getting strange for me. She starts exploring more of herself and comes out to me as gay, but maybe because she is very into sex with me. Okay, I think to myself. I'm not sure what to do with that. Then she continues her journey of self-discovery a few months later, and then tells me she is a witch and believes she has psychic abilities. Wait, what? I want to be supportive in her journey, but honestly I am just thrown way off. But the thing that really pissed me off was the next thing. She had a work conference she was going to attend, and she was prepping to go, and she suffered a minor stroke. It was terrifying. I thought I almost lost her. It was the worst experience I've ever had. Fortunately, she was okay and would make a full recovery. In discussing her situation with the neurologist, they asked if she was on any antidepressants, which she was. Or so I thought. I found out after that. She had stopped taking them for a couple months. Why? I asked. She didn't want to tell me, but admitted the conference she was going to was actually not a work conference, but a guided session with LSD for some healing ritual. Like, WTF, she wasn't going to tell me until after, because she knew I wouldn't approve. I am just so lost. I don't know who this person is anymore. I know if you grow, you will become different than you were before, but this just feels like too much. 1. You've admitted to yourself you're gay. Cool. No problem. We can figure out what to do. 2. You say you're a witch and have psychic abilities. Ugh, I think that's silly and don't believe in that stuff. But let's see where it goes. 3. You're dishonest about going to do illegal drugs. I feel bad making a decision to leave now because she has had a stroke, and she depends on me for all things financially. But what the hell? I don't know this person anymore. Now let's check out some of the comments on this post. The claims of having psychic abilities and sudden switch up in personality sounds like she might be having a secondary mental health crisis, especially if she's stopped her medication. She needs to see her doctor. Here's the response from OP. She is back on them. As far as I was aware, she was only off them for a couple months. Even with the medication, she seems convinced. That's why I think there's a secondary mental health crisis happening. Antidepressants aren't going to stop psychosis if she actually has an underlying bipolar or schizoaffective disorder. The change almost sounds like mania. Could also be something more physical, especially after seeing she'd had a stroke. That would be my main concern. Brain tumors can cause changes in personalities and hallucinations, etc. I feel like a couple tests, maybe an NMRI would be valid. I'm done. Just to be safe. I would think MRIs and brain scans in general would be standard after a stroke, right? Isn't that how they locate the area and severity of the bleed? I would hope someone on her neurology team would have seen something already, if something was physically wrong with her brain. I may be putting too much faith in our medical systems to be that thorough. But a woman in her 30s, suffering a stroke, seems like they'd be investigating thoroughly to find the cause, since it's so unusual. Edit. Run-on sentence. You're right. In the process of standard imaging after a stroke, anything like a tumor would have been spotted immediately. It's possible that something developed after she had imaging up until the present day, but it sounds more likely that it's psychiatric. Yeah, either way, she desperately needs this to be addressed by medical professionals, because this isn't normal. And now for the next story. My F29 husband, M30, lied about going to workout classes with his coworker. How to approach. Husband said he was going to some new martial arts classes alone. Turns out he's going with his female coworker Lisa. I went through his phone because I remembered a month or two ago he mentioned he might go to some classes with her. The class starts tonight. I'm so Hortez lead, and now I fear the reason for his lie. Do I confront him today, before the class? Or after a few classes have gone by to see if I can get more info on if something more is going on between them? Backstory. They seem like close work friends. They vent about their boss, and both like tattoos and martial art. Has told me I'd get along with her a couple times. I've never met her in person, so not sure what their dynamic is really like. They send each other memes on Insta sometimes. She's attractive, and I don't know how I'd feel about him going to these classes with her. I'm definitely not comfortable now that he's lied. Now let's check out some of the comments on this post. Tell him you've decided you'd love to take that class with him. See what his reaction is. Here's the response from OP. Lo, I like this. Do it. His reaction will tell you everything. This is a great idea. After thinking about it, I am concerned that he might tell her you are coming, and then she won't show up. If I were you, I would definitely go to see their interaction as well. So maybe you just show up, instead of telling him you are going. If you end up not going this time, maybe you should ask a friend to go for the next time, and observe. Or just hire a pie. Your reason to do so is valid since he lied about spending time with another woman. Ignore the people who are saying he is justified in not telling you about her. No man should be lying to his wife about another woman. If he wants to continue the friendship, he should do what he can to help you feel more secure about her. He should resolve this issue with you. Lying about this means he might lie to you about other activities with her. Don't even take the class with him. Just go to spectate. You wanted to observe the class first to see if you think it is something you would like. If it is something you would like to do, maybe he could get you a good deal. Like and subscribe for more awesome daily Reddit content. And don't forget to hit the bell to get notified when I upload new videos.